Hi everyone, Dr. Joe Thorogood here. Welcome to Remarkable. Maddie's decided to join me for a bit and she'll hang around for the first part of the video. This week we're going to look at how to annoy your marker with small errors. Okay, so this is a video about some of the things that I've come across as a marker, small quick things that can be fixed that students don't do. So what sorts of things am I talking about here? Off you get, Mads. I'm talking about things like line spacing, paragraphing, double spacing, so when you have accidentally hit space twice, the justification of a paragraph, the margins, the font size, the font color, the font itself. Sometimes these things will get changed as you work between Word documents, and maybe you copy and paste a quote from a journal article when you bring over the font and the font size from that article. What that can mean is that in student work, sometimes the font size changes, the font changes, the line spacing changes, the distance between a paragraph changes. All of those things are noticed by us, the marker. They might seem like quite small things, but we do see them and we do pick up on them. So that's the first thing, lazy formatting, which doesn't get fixed before the work is submitted. The second thing includes unfinished work. So these could be things like when you've put a note to yourself. It might be something like, oh, remember to cite this quote, right? I've read lots of essays where I've come across a quote and someone's then put in brackets, remember to cite this. Now what that means is that you haven't actually proofread your work, because if you had, you would have seen that and fixed it. That's a shame, because really proofreading is a very important part of work, and if you're just handing in the draft that you finished, you haven't checked it for all sorts of errors, and that's a shame. That leaves a pretty bad impression with the marker, because it suggests to us that you don't care. The second thing in unfinished work that students do is spelling and grammar errors. Now imagine if I spent the rest of this video saying the word spelling instead of spelling. How annoying is that going to be for you, the listener and the watcher, if I say spelling wrong all the way through this video? It's exactly the same for us as markers. If you consistently spell a word wrong, all I can see when I'm marking your work is that misspelling. And it's annoying because it's all I can focus on. So please, please, please check for those consistent errors, right? If something is consistently being spelt wrong, then you need to make sure you know how you're spelling it. And spell checker should help you with those things. And it's exactly the same for grammar too. Consistent grammar errors suggest that you don't know the rules of grammar, all right? That's a big issue too. So what I have in front of me here is an essay I wrote in my first year, and I've actually made it worse than it was. I've committed some of those formatting and sort of presentational errors that I've just mentioned. Now they're very easy to fix with a couple of functions, but before we do that, I just want to show you some of them. You can see that throughout the assignment things have changed. There is a change of font size in the second paragraph. The third paragraph has a different line spacing to the first two. The fourth paragraph has been indented, and if you just look at this scrolling selection I'm doing, you can see that the line justification has changed on the right hand margin for the second paragraph. The third paragraph is different to the second one. You can also see that there is some red text in the essay. I've come across this before in student work where they've put something in red to remind themselves to deal with it and they've forgotten it. Same down here, some yellow highlighted text reminding me to cite something. And obviously in this instance I've forgotten. These sorts of things are really, really annoying, and they're so easy to fix. So how do you fix them? Well, let's first of all say that I've dealt with these issues here. So where I've put delete this, I have deleted this. Let's say that I have remembered the reference, so I can delete that, don't forget reference. And now I am left with the essay with its errors. First thing I'm going to do is delete this title page. Title pages are just another page to scroll through, okay? So I'm going to go over here to cover page, and I'm going to click remove current cover page. As markers, they don't add anything to your assignment. They're not going to save a piece of work if it's not particularly good. It's just another page for us to scroll through before we get to your work. Of course, if your university says you need to have a title page, maybe they've got a template that you have to use, then you'll have to use that. But if not, there's no point in it. It doesn't really add anything to your assignment. So I've got rid of that. The next thing I'm going to do is going to do select all, so by pressing Control A, if it's a Mac it would be Command A. And I'm going to fix a lot of these errors in a few clicks. So I've selected all my work with Control A, and you can see that everything there has been selected. First of all, I'm going to make the font the same. The font has changed in the second paragraph, and I'm going to put it all back to what it should be, which is Calibri body. So now the font is all the same. I'm going to make sure the size is all consistent, so I'm going to put it at 11. Everything is consistent there. I'm going to make all the text black. In doing that, that red text is going to disappear. And then I'm going to go to the highlight color and I'm going to put no color. So now I've got rid of that red and that black. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sort out the justification of all of the lines. I'm going to click over here. I'm not going to actually justify this. So now that second paragraph has been unjustified. Of course, if I wanted them to be justified, I could click on the right one and now they're all justified. So that's fixed that. Next one is line spacing. I'm going to sort out the line spacing in the third paragraph by clicking here and clicking all to 1.15. That's just tidied up that third paragraph's line spacing so it all looks the same. Already the essay is looking much cleaner, but there are still a couple more things to do in regards to formatting. This paragraph has accidentally been indented. I don't want it to be indented, so I'm just going to click here, decrease indent. That puts the paragraph back where it is. The final thing I want to do is sort out this second paragraph's first line. There hasn't been an indent like the rest of the paragraphs. I can simply press the tab key to give that the indent, so now it matches all of the other paragraphs. There is one more thing here, two more things, but one more thing in the text I want to focus on. Now I've sorted out the paragraphing, the formatting for most of the essay, I just need to sort out this paragraphing issue. Between these two paragraphs where the cursor is being selected, there is a line. I'm just going to click delete. That's deleted that one line. And now it gives me the nice clean paragraphing that I've had elsewhere. And down here, the problem has come from a copied and pasted text which has brought the formatting in from a different document. I need to click here again to line spacing, go down to add space after paragraph. That's now added a space to that paragraph. You can see if we go to remove space, it removes it. And if I go add down here and you can where the essay concludes, you can see there's now a line appeared where there wasn't one before, which has sorted that problem out. So there, the essay has been very quickly formatted. I'm just going to change this title to make it slightly bigger again. Let's make it size 16. I'm only going to make it bold. I don't need to underline it and italicize it as well. That's overkill. And it's the same for the references as well. So I'm just going to click that, go up to 15, get rid of that and that. Now we have two nice clear titles that are consistent. And the formatting has been pretty much done. Now I want to deal with the double spaces. Double spaces are very hard to pick up throughout your work because sometimes they're very hard to spot and sometimes Word doesn't always seem to get them as well, but you can see them here in my assignment with areas that have got blue in between them. Now I could go through one by one and click and delete them, but instead I'm just going to press Control F, which brings up the find function. I'm going to go to find replace. After clicking on replace, I'm just going to type in 2 spaces. In doing that, it's going to find all those double spaces and I'm just going to replace it with a single space. If I click replace all, 22 replacements, so 22 double spaces have been removed from that assignment, which means they are now fixed. So that is the formatting of the assignment. It just looks cleaner and it looks finished and it looks like a professional job. Now, why does this matter so much? Surely if your argument is good, then that's all that matters. Well, yes, but we're lecturers. We want to see that you care about these issues too. We want to see that you've put in the time and effort to think about them and that when you submit some work, you can be proud of the argument you've written and you can be proud of your documents that you hand in. If I get an essay that's handed in called Essay Draft 1 Rubbish, or as one I had not long ago, Essay Ugh, that just suggests to me that you don't care about this and that you probably haven't put the effort in. The same goes for lazy formatting. It suggests to me that you don't really care about your work. And even though you might have written a brilliant assignment, that is the impression I'm immediately faced with when I open a Word document that hasn't been properly formatted. This is why we give you formatting standards. Lots of universities give formatting standards to make sure that you don't have to worry about these decisions. They're just things you have to do and all your assignments are consistent. So please, please follow your institution's formatting guidelines, and where they don't have them and they're allowing you to choose things, make sure you're consistent with what you do. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Remarkable.